Oh yeah, thanks, Alexandra.
Mhm.
So then I already have an account, so I would go to login. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I would recommend signing up. And that's just first name, last name, email, password. I don't think there's an email verification process. So you can just go ahead and do that, and it doesn't really collect any of your data if you're worried about that. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and log into mine. See if I have one. Yeah, okay. And then from here, I have my login. Um, and then I'll wait, I think, for a few seconds for everyone to get signed up and into this page. Let me or Alexandra know if you have any questions. You can also unmute or ask in the chat. And then if you can, give like a thumbs up if you're ready to keep going. And then otherwise, I'll probably just wait till 10:05. Okay, it's 10:05. I'm gonna keep going. Let me know if you want me to slow down at any point. You can also ask Alexandra for help. So the goals of today's project are to create a simple web app with login functionality. We're going to try to build an account page like you saw earlier that shows the user's information, and then also hide and show elements based on the logged in or logged out state of the user. So some of the technologies you'll learn is the form element to an API, mustache templating to control data shown on the page, and then basic CSS necessary to create like a simple company page like you see here. So the first thing we're going to do is come up with a fictitious sort of company design. So you see here we have Doggle Flipper Eliminator. This can be anything. I'm probably going to create something different this time. So maybe something like, I don't know, like free napkins or something, like free napkins for all. Um, and it can be anything. It's just sort of a demo that you can use for later. So lots of company sites also have a picture or drawing that covers their entire screen to sort of draw the user's attention. So this kind of giant picture, which is kind of like that. So before I get into that, I'm going to first implement the design using HTML and CSS. And then since this is a project, I'm going to go ahead and click new project and create login demo. And then you'll be kind of led to this screen where you can code in browser, which is nice, but also manage your files up over here. Okay, so let's first create the sort of body of it. So let's do nav, and then I just put like login controls, placeholder, and then main, and then this is where sort of the main will sort of be like this giant image and the texture. So this would be like title of the company, and then the footer, which would have like credits slash. Okay. I'm gonna wait for a second just for people to get this down. So I know I did some typing. Okay. If you're having, again, you want me to slow down at any time, let me know. We're gonna go on to finish the nav now. And this is where we're gonna start using this thing called mustache templating, which will basically allow you to control whether information is private or not on a given website. So I'll write a comment quickly so you know what I'm doing. So in mustache templating, we first want to create a section that users who are not logged in will see. And then a section for users who are logged in. And then this is commenting in HTML. That's so this isn't code that'll actually run. And then in order to do sort of the mustache templating, I'm going to sort of surround my code with this. These sort of brackets, and then the ending one sort of looks like this. So that's what users who are not logged in will see. And then we can test that by doing a login, which will be a link that will lead them to the login page and sign up. So theoretically, you should see this pop up on the slide over there. Yeah. So since we're not logged in, we see this. And then I'm going to go ahead and write this part, and then I'll also give people a quick moment to catch up. And then this is users who are logged in. So it's the what's the word? Sort of the exponential sign in the pound sign. You'll want to log out. And then since we're logging out, it's a function, not really a link. So I'll call an onClick function. And then I'll put our sort of image that we saw earlier here. And I'll give people a second to get this down. And you'll see that over here, you can no longer see this part of the code because we're not logged in. Assuming if I change this, you'll be able to see it again. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you guys like around 2 minutes to get that done. Get that down if you need it. If you want to keep going sooner, then please let me know in the chat. Oh, and then my features, my code might be kind of small, so let me zoom in so that people can see it better. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes. Just to clarify, since I know someone was asking in the chat, the recording for the session will be up on YouTube later. And then there's also a text version of this workshop, I believe that Alexandra sent out earlier, if you want to follow along that way. Quickly before I keep going, do people have questions about the sort of UI of Qoom? Because I realized I glossed over that quickly in the beginning. A lot of the features you see won't be super crucial to this tutorial, but they are pretty nice. So like things like this will prettify your code. This is a search bar, pretty self-explanatory. This is how you sort of navigate the files in like one given project. You can upload new files here. Database is still in beta, but that's sort of our version of like MongoDB and stuff if you've ever worked with that. So not super necessary for right now, I believe. And then yeah, Collab is kind of like Google Docs coding. If you in general have any questions about any of these features, please let me know and I can go over them. I think probably the one that's going to be nice to see right now is actually this one. This one pops out your code in a different window, so you'll see what the user is seeing. Okay, so now that we have that down, we're going to create the HTML for the main section, so this sort of section of the code. Let's delete this quickly. And then I'll create a div, which is going to be sort of this giant white box. I'll create a header. And then in the header, I'll put my company name. So let's try, I think I said Free Napkins for All. What's sort of my company idea? So again, like definitely a placeholder, don't sweat this part too much. And then H2 would sort of be our fictitious company descriptions, maybe an NPO that aims to do napkins. Which is sort of description of your group. And then for the footer, I don't know if I can do it. I'll just say copyright 2023. Or something. And then there you can put anything you want. So you put your name. So maybe I should put my name. So copyright 2023. And that's fine. Okay. So this is kind of a small step. I'm going to keep going. Let me know if you want me to pause at any point again. To sort of clarify what's going on. Now I'm going to be going on to the head. So just as a refresher, or in case you didn't know, the head, an HTML sort of describes the background of what's going on in the body. So in the head, you would put things that don't actually show up on the page, but affect how it looks. So like the link to the style sheet, which is sort of this thing, like the JavaScript. Sometimes you put the JavaScript to the head, sometimes you don't. It depends. It's like a case-to-case basis. The favicons, little icon you see up here, the title of the page, things like that. So things that don't actually show up in this area, but affect how it looks. So sort of keep in line with that. I'm going to create a meta tag, and then I'll explain what this does after I'm done writing it. And this is actually kind of a long piece of code, so I might copy paste it in the chat so that people don't have to write it. Okay, so this tag will essentially make it look good on mobile pages, so that when you switch to your phone and you look at it, it's not like super zoomed out or anything. And the proportions aren't too weird. Here's that line of code in case you don't want to type that all out. I know it's kind of a big thing. Yeah. I'm going to start commenting some of what this stuff does so we can reference back to it later. So this will make mobile. To styling our page. Modules to page. And then I'm gonna go over how to add a favicon, and then this isn't super important if you don't want to do it. But it basically will just give you this sort of dog in the corner. So that the code for that. The link for that would be, let me zoom out a bit so everyone can see the whole code. Would be this. And then if I wanted to grab this favicon, I could just go into inspect and grab it that way. Okay, well, it's not too important. Let's see. Okay, I probably won't add one to my page, but I'll go over how you would if you want to. So that'd be link. Oh, what icon equals slash G. Um, okay. Actually, I think I might thinking. Yeah, okay. I'll grab the you don't have to worry about this part. I'm just grabbing the grabbing the where is it? The picture for this. Can I grab it? Okay, it's not too important. Okay. That's where you would put it though, theoretically. So let's keep going. Sorry for that little detour. And then one last thing, I'll add a title and then I'll give people some time to catch up with writing the code. So this I'll see sign up. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's it, Rachel. So now you see this, you see sign up here. And then if you did put a sort of pugged up PNG up here, you would see that as well. Okay. So this is sort of the skeleton for the code that we're going to be using going forward. I'll give people a second to write that if they didn't get a chance to write that before, probably till like 10:23, which is I believe 1:23 in Eastern Standard Time. So around 3 minutes. Again, if you want me to keep going earlier than those allotted 3 minutes, let me know in the chat, and I'll be happy to acquiesce. Thank you, Alexa, for sharing that. I couldn't find the picture, sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, no problem. It's very relevant to the tutorial.
Yeah.
And also, when we go to the PFPs and once you create your user icon, you can also have the ability to upload your own PNG there. So we'll know a lot more about image tags later.
I believe my code should be frozen right now, so you should be able to see that. But basically in the background, I'm going to unsplash and picking a background image that I'll be using later on. So if you want to do that now as well, you can. Let me send the link to unsplash into the chat. So the process for that would basically just to be like downloading an image from Unsplash and then re-uploading it to your Qoom project. And I'll go over how to do that once the people are done catching up. They still need the time. Okay, so it's been around 3 minutes. I'm gonna go over how to upload images really quickly and how to sort of insert them into your page. So the way you do that is you would go up here to the upper left-hand corner, click on upload file, and then I'm gonna upload these two files. One of them is my favicon, and one of them is the background I got from Unsplash. Okay, and you can rename this one to like napkin.
You're still frozen, by the way.
Oh, I'm still frozen. Sorry. Resume share. Okay. Basically the process for that would be go up here to upload file, and then upload two files to your screen. And then here I would do again. Okay. And then that would get replaced up over here. And then in the actual page, you'd be able to see that pop up in the corner. Although it's really hard to see because I chose a black favicon, which was maybe not the best idea. To contrast with my page, but you can see it up there. Okay. If people want to take some time to go to Unsplash and download a photo for their background, like I said before, you can do that now if you want. I'm gonna keep moving with the tutorial, but I will again pause once I'm done with writing my code to make sure everyone has a chance to get that down. Okay, so now that we have sort of the base frame of our HTML, we're gonna get started with the CSS. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Google Fonts just so I can get my own font. Let's do something. Fonts. I have a lot of them. Let's do like I don't know. PT Sans is good. So again, the way to get here is Google Fonts, and then I'll show you how to import them now, but I'll share the link in the chat. Google Fonts has basically almost every font you'll ever need to make a web page, which is really nice because it's all really easy to import into a web page. And the way that I would do that is you click on a sort of font, which will take you to this page. Scroll all the way down till you can get like to select regular 400 or some other thing that says select with a plus sign next to it. And then I believe I go to, oh, can I hear this all? Hold on. I have two of them. Sorry. Which will take you to this page. And then from here, you'll want to click add import. Select this line of code in between the style tags. Go back to your styles.css, put this here, and then change the font family here. I'll repeat that one more time because I know I went kind of fast. So basically how to import them is to go to this site, pick a font that you like. Let's pick a different font this time. Let's pick this font. This font looks fine. Okay. And then from here, I'd scroll down to whichever one of these font variations of the font I like. I actually like kind of like light 300. Go to add import. So not link, this one. Select this. Go back to my page, which I'm in the CSS file now. Paste that. And then change the family here. And you'll see that my font changed sort of in the, on the right hand side. Okay, that was again a little detour. I'll keep going on with the rest of the body styling. So the body styling, I'm going to go over this quickly. Feel free to ask in the chat if you have any more questions about this, but it basically is just styles the entire page. It's like the most like universal sort of, you know, it's not the most universal tag for styling, but it's up there with one of those universal tags. This will basically just set the width and height of the web page. It'll always be 100% of the viewport. And the overflow hidden will make it so that you can't scroll, or that whatever is overflowing on the page is hidden from scrolling. Again, not super important. It's just a small cosmetic thing. Okay. I'm gonna write some code really quickly. I'll try to go over it as I keep going. But if you have any questions about what I'm doing, please ask in the chat. And then I'll also actually send a link to my sort of styles.css, which I think you should be able to see. And then you can copy that if it's a lot of code. This is actually quite a bit to write. Okay, what I might do is copy paste it and then go over what each of it means because it's a bit to write and I do want to get to the more like JavaScripting part of the tutorial. So I'm gonna freeze my screen really quickly and I'll come back and do that. Okay, so I just got the code from the tutorial, text tutorial. That's where you can find most of the code for this tutorial if you're having trouble keeping up. There should be an image here somewhere. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna quickly make sure my image works and then I'll start going over each of the means. So say and then I think you should be able to see that, yeah, now it sort of looks like this page. Okay, so how does this do it? So starting from the nav, as you remember, is sort of this top part up here. The position absolute in the top right 0 basically means it'll always be in the top right corner. The display flex means that the elements within the nav, so these two links will always sort of be in the same order, and even if they were blocks, they would be sort of on the same line. The width is just 40% of the width of the viewport. Height is just 50 pixels. The links, sorry, I'm losing my voice a bit. The links in the div would be sort of aligned vertically in the center. This basically moves the content to the left, sort of at the start of the div. And then the gap sort of clarifies how much space there is between the two elements within the nav div. This is basically just setting the styling of this part. This is for when we will eventually log in. So that looks like this. The style is that. And this is basically just making sure that the image is one circular and also not super wide. That's what object fit cover does. And the background color white, make sure that if a little bit of your image is transparent, the background of it will be white. And then let's see. Oh yeah, the hover is basically just when you hover over it, it changes the color of it. Main is this sort of giant thing. So that's where our background image is. And this is just saying how big it should be, which should be the entire screen, where it should be centered, which is the center, as you can see by 50%, 50%. And it's also setting it to display flex so that the elements within the elements within the div of main sort of wrap. If you're confused on any of these terminologies, let me know. Okay. Yeah, sort of the same sort of principle here. Again, it's just sort of styling this div here to have sort of a semi-transparent background. I think this is making sure that if I have any images within this container, it'll also be 220 pixels. This is for later when we do the form. So this is not relevant to us yet, but it will be. I'll go over this when it is relevant to us. And then this is the footer, and the footer is sort of this part right here. I'm going to change the color of that because it's kind of hard to see, so I'll say black. And then that should, when I refresh it, should be black. But and I also might change the color of this to be something that more fits our color scheme. I can find it. Oh, here it is. Okay. And then I might choose something like, oh, one of the quick things. I'm also assuming that in this tutorial you know what inspect is, but inspect will basically allow you to change parts of your CSS really quickly. Another thing I really like about it is that it has like an inbuilt color picker, so you can see like real time what it'll look like on your screen. I kind of like this color. And then I can copy paste the hex code of that color over here, which is nice. So that was just something I've learned over time. Okay. So now let's create our sign up page. So this will start getting into the more interesting parts of the CSS code. Before that, I will send my link here so that people, I think Alexander also sent in a link to the code, but you can also see it here, I believe. If that doesn't work, let me know. Okay, I'll give people a second to do that and sort of modify it to their own liking for a few minutes. And then I'll keep going with the sign up page. Probably give people about 1 more minute, and then we'll keep going. Okay. Let's keep going. So now we're going to create a sign up page. All of the remaining pages we're going to use will use the same CSS and JavaScript page, so that we can have common design and function for every page that we create. So we're going to create a new page called signup.html. And the way you do that is going over here to new file and typing in the name of the page. Again, that's just going up here to a new file and then typing that in. Okay. And then we're going to replace the head element with what's inside of index.html so that's consistent. So that's just copy pasting this and putting it here. I might just prettify it so everything looks standard. Okay. After that, we're going to sort of use a template for the rest of our pages. It's going to be nav, and inside of it for our text. And then I'll copy what I had better over here. Just this. Okay. So this is there's a lot of code that I kind of just spewed out onto the screen, but it is sort of the template we had going for us with the initial page. So it's not as bad as it looks. Okay, so in our sign up page, we just want to allow the user to either log in or go home. So you don't need to use the mustache templating here. So in nav, you would just do a login. Making a lot of typos today. But I would think that, and you can switch them around. I'm gonna switch them actually. Okay. And then now we can also start getting into the juicy parts about making the actual sign up form. So let's create a sign up title. And then we're going to create a form. And then I'm going to type this out really quickly and then explain what it does once I'm done with it. I don't believe. I think this one should be login form. And this might look like gibberish to you right now, but I'll explain it what it means really quickly. So action equals this basically tells the browser to send the data to this function that's defined on the server. You can replace login demo, I believe, with the name of your project. I'll check on that later, but I'm fairly sure that's the move to make. Alexander, you can also correct me on that. Method equals post means that you're just sort of sending the data in a way that the browser can encrypt it, which keeps it secret from our ISP. So if you actually put your password in it, it would be like basic encryption to make sure that people can't really see it. It's not extremely advanced encryption though. And then encoder type, multi-part form data. This tells the browser what encoding to use to send the data. And this coding actually allows us to send images, so we can include the images that you want to use. Okay, thank you, Alexandra, for confirming that. Okay. Now I'm going to create some input boxes. And these input boxes are basically just going to be like sort of what information we want from our user. So let's keep it simple. Let's do type equals email. So this is looking for an email. Name equals username. Placeholder equals email. And then this is required part of the form. And you can see that here. So placeholder, if you don't know what that means, is so this the type defines what kind of input it is. The name is how the browser sort of references it when it's executing a function or storing it in the database or anything. So it's sort of like the internal name for it. That's how I think of it. If you need more clarification on that, feel free to ask. I don't know if I explained that the best way. And then placeholder equals email just is this sort of text that you see here. And that's going to be the same sort of format for the TP cell type. And again, I'll give people some time to get this all down at the end. Okay, thank you, Alexandra, for sending that in. Okay, password. And I'm going to create a label really quickly to tell people what I want their image for. Okay, and this last, so I'll go over these quickly. This is basically just an image upload sort of thing. The assets here define what kind of files can be uploaded here. Um, and then name I went over and required I went over. This input is for submitting the form. And this has the value of sign up, which is basically just this text within it, and this will submit the form for you, as says. Um, and then quickly, I'm going to create a hidden input that will tell the server where to send the user after getting the data. Value equals, so we probably want to go back to our home page after we're done. So what that really should be, maybe slash. Or I guess not our home page, it would be our account page, which makes sense. Okay. Say hidden redirect. Okay. Um, I'll give people some time to get this all down. I know I just wrote a lot. Let me know if you want me to zoom out or anything else. That was actually a lot of code, so I'm gonna give people until I'll give people around 3 minutes to get it down, maybe longer. Maybe more like 5. Because I'd say I did just write a lot. I'll give you guys 5 minutes to write it down. If you're done earlier than that, please let me know and I'll keep going. Okay. I'm gonna keep going just to make sure that we get sort of everything done within this workshop. If you need help catching up with the code, I can also send the code in chat if you don't have it. I don't know how well that will work, but I'll try. Okay, that's not working. I believe most of my code should be available to see online through the project, so I'll also send that if you're having trouble keeping up. Uh, I'll send in my yeah. Okay, that should be good. You probably won't be able to see my. Okay, you'll be able to edit my code, I believe, but you'll be able to see the code behind it. And you can navigate through here if you're having trouble with keeping up. So after we do that, we'd go back to our styles.css, and then we'll see that these parts were styles for us in the signup. So the form has a display of flex. So again, kind of just centering everything and making sure things wrap. If the browser gets too skinny, creating gaps, having a set width, not really a set height because I think it's small enough where it doesn't need that. And then this is styling the inputs. And then this is styling the sort of what they look like when they get hovered. And that's about it for the CSS, I believe. Okay, so you'll notice that, hold on, where was it? Okay, I do want to show you guys something cool so that I was sort of playing around with how this works. So the account page won't work yet because we haven't created it, but you can see I was creating sort of a thing here. Upload my guy, and then the redirect won't necessarily work because I haven't created the page yet. Hopefully this should work. It's working like 30 seconds ago. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I was expecting that error, but if you go back to login demo, you'll see that my icon is here, and that doesn't work yet because that redirects you again, which is cool. And if you do want to see this in sort of where it's stored in your database, Qoom does have this nice feature where you can go to the database beta. And then I do recommend looking at this if you do have the time, but it's not super crucial right now. So I'll just go over to my database table, which is where you'll see sort of the database you just created. You can click on it and you'll see that here is my information. And then, so now if I wanted to delete this, my information as a user would actually be deleted. And then if I were to refresh this, you'll notice that my icon is gone because my account no longer exists. And then I can resign up that same account. So that's pretty cool. I would recommend exploring that later if you want. And if you have questions about that, please, again, you can ask me or Alexandra. Okay, let's quickly create the account page. I'm going to sort of copy this because we're using the same template and I don't have to retype all of it. Okay. Probably want to change the title to account. Let's see, put an exclamation point after it. And then here, since we're already signed in, we know that you would probably want a logout button. So logout here, capitalized, and this should be an unclick letter. Okay. And then in the main, we want to have one thing to show up if the user is logged in, one thing to show up if the user is not. So they are logged in, they will show this. It's wrong, backslash. There you go. Okay. And then that'll just be your account, which is the text. Again, none of this will show up because we're not logged in yet. But if you were logged in, we would see this. And then you would see your username. So this is again sort of the mustache templating of information. Which is really nice to use. And then your icon. Okay. And that's all private. So we probably should not be able to see that, right? Oops. So I have a somewhere. Is that it? Oh. Am I blind? First bug of the day. Let me try retyping this. Sorry. Don't know what the issue is. Is that backslash, right? Yeah, okay, so that works. That'll work. Nice. Okay. Okay, and then all right. Sorry, I don't know what the issue was with there, but I guess retyping the code fixed it. And then I'll probably just copy paste this to show what happened if you're not sending it. So that would be here, and then I think the idea here would be just to redirect you to the homepage. So script station.ref equals this. So that's just a small redirect code. Yeah. Okay. And you can see that happen. So this is what the account page would look like. I'll give you guys a few moments to write this down. Can I ask where we are on time, if you have more time, or if it's an hour long?
It's an hour long and like
Okay.
6 minutes.
Okay, cool. All right. I think what I might do, since we're almost done then, is copy paste the rest of the code from the tutorial and then go over what each of it does quickly. And then I'll also send a link into the tutorial as well. Hold on. Okay. Let me pause this quickly so that people can still write the code if they want. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna quickly go over the last few bits about it, which is just the logout function and the login page. So the logout function is basically this bit of code. As you can see by the comments, it tells the server to log the user out. I should replace this with login demo because that's the name of this project. This is the same sort of method posting, so it gets it from and with some basic encryption from our database. The alert logged out will basically just show you a little pop-up here saying that you've logged out, and then it redirects you back to the home page. So that's a pretty small function. You can write. It's again in this. If you're having trouble with any of this, I would recommend going to this page, which you can find by going to the tutorials page and then clicking on this. And then this has all the code. Now I'll quickly go over login and then probably do a brief demo and then we're done. Okay. So here, same sort of header format as the rest of them. Meta tag, link to the CSS, link to the JavaScript, the favicon, and the title. Here we would only really want the home and sign up page to show up. And then the login page, it would again be sort of in the form tag. And then this is the same sort of thing we were doing in the sign up page, which is so it looks very similar. And then you can go over there again. This is basically just telling it where to send the data. This is encrypting it, and then this is telling it what kind of data is being received. So multi-part allows us to send multiple different types of data. So then we have our email, password, submit, and then again the hidden redirect input type. So that's very similar to the sign up page. And then we're done. That's basically the rest of the tutorial. Some challenges that you might want to do if you want to do more with this is you could redirect the user that has logged into the account page if they try to access the sign up or login pages, assuming they've already logged in. Style buttons differently on mobile, which you can do by using CSS media queries, and then creating a preview of the profile image the user uploaded so that they can see it before hitting the sign up button. And then that one's a lot more complicated, I think, but it's very rewarding if you do figure it out. Okay, so this is our finished page. Now we can go to sign up. I can find Mario guy, press sign up. This is my account page that we just made. We can go back home. Oh, does home not work? Okay, well that's a bug. It's in the account page. Okay. Oh, here. Okay. Okay, sorry. Whoops. Let's try that again. Okay, go here. And this should, yeah, that redirects us back to the home page. And then we can also log out. Thank you for coming to the workshop. Again, we have links in the chat, I believe, that will give you all the resources you need to finish this if I went too fast. Or if you want to ask me or Alexandra questions, we encourage them. And yeah, that's it. Does anyone have any final questions before we end? Oh, yeah, same with Alexandra saying you can email us. No? Okay.
Alrighty, that should be good. Thank you so much. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thank you for
We'll
having us.
be, yeah, of course.
Mm.
We'll be taking all of these links and we can send them into our Discord to help anyone who wants to follow along from the video that we post on YouTube. And yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, have a great day.
You too. Thank you, Alexandra.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep. Thank you
Bye.
guys for having us.